What's up, everybody? How's it going? This is part 4, I believe, of Let's Make a Model Dark Angels Restorative Edition. And it doesn't take this long to paint the guy up when you actually sit down to paint him. It's just getting the time to paint him. I don't know what it is. I get sidetracked and procrastinate. And it sucks, really, because I got lots of other stuff I want to do, painting-wise, hobby-wise, and even video-wise, that this all gets bogged up because of it. So, here we go. What we have here is part 4 of the Dark Angel model. In the previous part, I finished the cloth in his eyes, like I showed you in part 3. And in part 4, what I did was the green armor, but not fully. I would say halfway done with the green armor. What I do is I hit it with Catachan green completely, and then I do a wash of black on it. Before I even touch Dark Angel's green to it. Now, I do the Catachan green because I think it's a nice... I've experimented with different greens, and overall, I think it's a nice bland type of green, if that makes any sense. A nice neutral green. It's not too bright, it's not too dark. It doesn't really look like it'll dry shiny, and it doesn't. It's very much like a camo green, and it works. In fact, if you watch Awesome Paint Job at all, when he does a tutorial on how to paint Dark Angels, which he's already done, but when he did it, I guess I should say, he uses Catachan green over a white undercoat. I go over a black. So, I use Catachan green. If you don't have Catachan green, Narlock green can work in its place. I'm not the biggest fan of it. For that, it's different. It's not that different, but it's different enough for me when it dries that I wasn't the biggest fan of it. But added bonus is it's a foundation paint, so it'll have a better coverage ability than the Catachan green does, especially over black. With that, after the fact, I hit it with a heavy black wash, careful not to get it onto the eyes or onto the cloth. Now, you can use Badab Black, and that's a great Citadel wash. It works great, it's fantastic, I love using it. But I went ahead and bought Secret Weapon Miniatures Heavy Bodied Black Wash because it's in the name, it's a heavy bodied black wash. A very heavy pigmented wash. It's almost like watered down paint, if you will, in terms of its opaqueness. But it works. You have to be careful with it because it will make the model look black if you put way too much on one spot. But it does what Badab Black doesn't do, which is cover in one coat to give you that nice dark color in one coat. Badab Black will work just fine. It gets into the crevices a bit better, but it's going to take 2 coats at least to get you to a nice, really dark consistency. And the consistency you want, if I could say that word properly, the consistency you want is this kind of green. At least that's what I go for, this kind of dark green. Now, if you're playing Raptors Legion, you know, they have the green color now, not the blue with the yellow. You would pretty much be done here. Ready to go. This is the green you want. At least this is the green I would go for if I was playing Raptors. But this is just half of Dark Angel's green color coat that I go for. I wasn't careful with the wash, and as you can see, I got a little bit of black staining on his hand there. A little bit of black staining on his other hand, and on his arm a little bit. That's okay. I did that, I saw that. You can see it when it's happening because it'll just pool there and it won't kind of run into any recesses. It's usually a case that you're using too much wash. Sometimes the wash doesn't flow very well and it'll just beat up there, or bubble up there, or pool there, whatever you want to call it. All you have to do is take a brush, maybe take a little bit of a damp brush, and just run it over that to soak up some of the wash and move it around a bit. If it dries like that, I call it staining. It's kind of like it stains the model a little bit, or stains the color. If this was your end result, you wouldn't want that to happen unless you're looking for that type of oily stain to weather the armor a bit. But if this was going to be your final armor color without weathering it like that, you would want a nice consistency without any of that blotchiness going on. Since we're painting over it, it doesn't matter to me. So that's how I got to this step. And like I said, if you're playing Rapture Legion, you're done with the green. You're good to move on to your other stuff. Um, However, if you're gonna go and follow along as a Dark Angel, there are more steps. Um, the steps would be the next step is going to be in part 5. When we get to part 5, you'll see this guy with his green armor completely done. And how I do that is I go over it with Dark Angel's green, and this time I'm more careful with the paint. I try to leave the black washed Catachan green in the recesses. And to me, the recesses with the Catachan green washed in black looks better than just having black in the recesses. It kind of gives a nice green shadowed effect. Um, and Dark Angel's green is dark, so it kind of mixes in together a bit well. And you paint it up to the very edges of those lines, being careful not to get it into the recesses of the armor. If it happens here and there, it's not a big deal. You just don't want to. You don't want to go over everything you just did, or else there's no real reason to do that. And then once Dark Angel's green is over the entire model, what I do is I take Snot Green as a highlight color, and I'm careful to edge it. Now, I'm not good at blending or feathering out the color at all. I'm not good at that, so I'm not doing that. But if you are, this is a good chance to do that as well. What I do is I take the Snot Green, and I just edge the armor a bit here and there. Not overly a lot, just enough to give the impression that the sunlight's catching the green armor and it's gleaming a bit. Um, I just go for overall down, whereas I don't go for any type of angled source of the light. I just do it in general to kind of show the armor glinting a bit in the light. But I keep it subtle because I don't. They're dark angels and they're dark color green. I don't want them gleaming. So I do enough just to get the point across and just to make the model pop a bit. I'll talk more about that once it's done in the next video. And just to recap, all I did was Catachan green over a black undercoat. It takes a couple of coats to get it nice and solid over a black undercoat. And then after that, I hit it with a black wash. I used Heavy Body Black from Secret Weapon Miniatures, but really diluted black paint will work. If you're not going to use really diluted really diluted black paint, you can never talk on camera. If you're not going to use that, but add black is a great wash. I love it, but it's just too light for what I need. This is a case where I want the heavy black wash over the model. And the only thing I'm doing here is saving time in the painting process to by using the heavy body black wash. Okay, so I'm running a bit long on time here. But the model, I would say, once we get this green fully done, it'll be over 50% completed. I say that because he has 2 weapons and he has a bunch of accent stuff on him. So yeah. Also, if anybody wants to leave stuff in the comment section, because I'm not doing this yet, the skull on his knee. Should I make that a gold skull or a silver skull? I don't know just yet. Anyways, that is it. And by the way, this is a great... The way I'm doing this Dark Angel model, I've come to realize after doing a couple of Dark Angel models one at a time like this, this will be a very nice way to assembly line these guys. I could probably get at least a 5-man squad done pretty quickly, if not a 10-man squad. It's just the repetition gets to you after a while. But I think the only part of this is going to slow it down a bit is doing the edges of the armor in that Snot Green. But really, I feel this is a way to assembly line the models and still have a decent amount of quality to them without relying on dipping or anything like that. Alright, so that's it. And until next time, take it easy.